Colleen, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Colleen is one of our users here at the Halo app. She's been an ambassador of ours for some time. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about her experience, how she heard about us. That way we can share with our network the impact that Halo app is having on people's lives. So to begin, Colleen, if you wouldn't mind sharing just how you heard about us, please, that would be awesome.
A client of mine has known you for a long time and has been around since you were creating the app. So there's been a bug in my ear since the beginning, and then COVID happened and I could no longer see my clients in my normal capacity, so I had to pivot my business. The way I did that was by creating products, so I needed some money to support buying some supplies to get my business off the ground. And my same client had just posted something on Facebook like around that time, so I looked into it a little bit more, and the values of your company and all that fell right into line, so I felt good proceeding and becoming a client of yours.
Appreciate that, Colleen. So can you talk to me like how you downloaded the app, what the experience was like? Did you just go to the app store, or how did that work?
Yeah, you sent me a link. I downloaded it from there and then put in my information, and it's a pretty straightforward process. And I did have a couple of questions along the way after I downloaded the app, and you were there with me the whole time and able to answer any questions. And if you didn't know the answer, you got it. So,
did you back or you borrow on the app, Colleen?
I borrowed.
You borrowed. Can you tell us about, if you're willing, please, what you borrowed for, and then the result, and then how the Halo app works in the payback process, please?
The reason I borrowed was because I needed some funding to purchase supplies to make products for my Grumpy Bitch line. The result of borrowing was that I was able to make those purchases to create my products, which has allowed me to expand my business in a way that I'd been wanting to in a long time. I just hadn't made efforts to. And then with COVID happening and being kind of forced my hand to pivot was when I decided to borrow. So I was able to receive funding for my supplies, which I was able to then purchase my supplies and create my products. And it's been helping me basically keep going during this tough time.
Can you tell me the process of borrowing? Were you able to pick the amount? Were you able to pick the time period? Are you able to pay this loan off over time? Can you share that with me, please?
Yeah, so I was able to pick the amount that I wanted, some restrictions to make sure it was a good match, which I totally understand. And then I was able to decide my payback schedule. And that's been really easy to adhere to. There were a couple offers that I did not like at the beginning, so I simply passed on those and waited for one that I did like. So that came along, I accepted it, and I think it was in my account the next day. And then 2 weeks from that time was my first payment, and then every 2 weeks I make a small payment back towards what I borrowed.
Wonderful. Appreciate that, Colleen. Last question. If you could refer the Halo app to anybody, what would you say?
I would say that, the Halo app is awesome, really. It's a non-traditional funding, and everything about traditional funding, it makes me cringe. So to come across a company that has the human that's borrowing the money at heart is amazing, and I would recommend to anybody who needs to borrow a little bit of money for whatever reason, to pay bills, to start a business, just to help them get by. The Halo app will have your back.
I appreciate it.